Hello, this is gonna be my first time speaking directly to the camera, my laptop, and I honestly don't know what to say. I have some thoughts on just the modern world in general. It's almost 3 in the morning, and I thought that, maybe I, I, I could at least speak out about it. I could at least try to say what I want to say and not have it cooped up here and here. And I saw a lot of people on YouTube, they've been, talking online, talking in front of their camera, and I thought that was quite nice. I thought that was quite, um, it felt less lonely in some sense. It's like an online diary, and I thought maybe it would be nice to record some thoughts of mine. So, um, I don't even know where to start, but uh, I do not feel for the modern world. Excuse me if I blink with one eye. It just happens. It's like when I'm tired. But yeah, it goes like this. Sometimes I feel weird. But okay, anyways. I do not feel for the modern world. And I am completely sane for saying this. What I mean by not feel is that sometimes I think I'm the only crazy person for thinking this. I'm in another country studying, and I feel as if people here don't have, they're missing that soul, That's not to say that they're not human, no. What I'm saying is that this is the society that we live in right now, at least how I perceive it to be, it it goes against something human in ourselves. I know, I might, you probably will think like, oh, you're against the modern world, but yet here I am. I'm using technology, it's pretty convenient. But that's another point that I want to make, is that I'm in a very, I would say, developed country, and that is Japan right now. And um, everything is all really convenient. You might think that's nice, but it gets to the point where I lose meaning, in if that makes sense. I it seems as if there's nothing to live for anymore. People go around today, they want to find a job, get a degree, get a house, get married. I mean, they're pretty nice things, don't get me wrong. But I do not feel that life is all about having a nice house or getting a job, or a degree won't guarantee me happiness, basically, was what I'm saying. I'm just a college student, what do I know? But getting a nice house, having things, buying things, uh, there's so many distractions today, especially in Japan. From what I've observed, this is my first time in another country, and I think it's almost the same with a lot of globalized countries or like their economies are integrated around the world, I think it's relatively similar that the point is to get rich, the point is to have a stable job, well off, save enough money to buy the things you want. And uh, and I cannot think that that's all there is to life. Of course, um, I gotta I gotta stop going to objections in my head, but I'm just gonna say it plainly that um, it feels like it's pointless in this society, at least in this modern how this modern system is um, is is making people to pursue their their sensory pleasures. I mean, from pleasures of like food or wealth or the lust of the eyes or consumerism or whatever. Um, it's all sensory. If you stop for a second and look around, it's all sensory. I mean, one could argue that's all there is to life. I mean, life without sensory stuff, what is life? But I mean, I think there is more, of course. But if you stop for a minute and look around you, people are people are sort of not people are striving for their ends are sensory, almost worldly, and I don't know if it's just we're all struggling. We need to survive somehow, but at least I'm the only one thinking here that it doesn't feel rewarding. It doesn't feel it it doesn't feel right somehow. I can't really describe it, but it all started with when I was trying to listen to some music on Spotify and it didn't allow me to play unless I update my location. And I was never a big fan of streaming services or anything like that in or subscriptions. Yeah, subscriptions. I wasn't really a big fan. I've never had anything like of that sort. Um, but it got me thinking that I never own anything really. I saw some videos on YouTube. Um, you never own anything really today. You don't own the land of your house. You have to continually pay rent to live, and you don't really own your job. You have to continually support your bosses. It's not like a sustainable thing. Maybe your boss will lay you off sometime and you have to find another job. Like it's like like you can be replaced somewhat, and you don't really own apart from like you don't really own your own music. You have to pay subscription to even use your ears. You and recently I was trying to edit my YouTube video, and it YouTube basically tells me I need to update my like they need to verify some personal information about like my age, and by doing that they need my ID. And I thought that was a silly thing. It's my video, and I want YouTube, for me at least, YouTube removed the feature for me to download videos, at least the ones that are not copyrighted, right? I tried to do that with my own video that I made, my own music, my own composition. I wanted to download it on my phone, and it didn't allow me to do that at all. It was like shocking to me because what do you mean I'm not allowed to download my own video that I made with my own hands, with my own mind? I put my heart into it. I can't even possess it for my own. And I thought it was so silly. And it got me thinking, like, I don't own anything these days. Either that or I have to pirate. I don't want to pirate. I think it's in most times it's wrong to pirate, but I won't get into the moral stuff. But I just choose not to pirate because it's just I used to pirate a lot, but not anymore. And I thought about it again, and that's when I started to quit a lot of things. I deleted Spotify. I was going to delete YouTube, but then it's probably my own source of entertainment these days. Back then we used to watch TV, but now I guess it's all YouTube. And I took off all my socials, my Instagram and everything. And I think that information is a necessary thing to have, and it's a crucial thing. And if companies have a hold of it, they will sell you more things. Data is important, especially in today. And I feared about my own, how do I say, my own agency of controlling my my data, and it gets really concerning. I didn't want that, so I deleted all my socials. I probably just have YouTube and some communication stuff. I'm not an expert in technology things, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that I felt more disassociated little by little, and I thought about how in this modern society, it feels as if I try to talk about meaning, if I try to talk about meaning or truth or a strive for wisdom, a strive to know, to seek. I think that's something very innate in every human person. It's a strive to know something, to find truth, because you just want to know what's true and what's not. You want to know meaning in your life, and that's very human, of course. That's what makes us all striving here today. But I've noticed, I have personally noticed that when I try to talk about those things, it feels like people will look at you weird, as if it was something weird in the first place. Um, they'll ask, like, why are you asking such questions? Is it that important? And I think, of course, it's important. Of course, it's the very being of. I would personally say it's the very being of what it means to be human. Is to, apart from love, I think it's to it's that wonder, it's that curiosity that changes us, that makes us do things, that that we strive for greater lengths to know, to find out. That curiosity, it drives us. And at least that at least I resonate that way. um, I used to grow up in a religious household, in a Muslim household, but I in truth I was actually just like a non-believing atheist. But I feel like from later on, near college or in high school, I found Christianity, and I became a Catholic, and I think there is a lot of wisdom to be in there that I personally found, that I know to be true, and that's I I believe it, and it made me look at the world in a whole different way. But that also burdens me with what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing everything in a like a life is whatever we want it to be. It's pointless. We make the meaning and stuff like that. But ever since ever since knowing God or finding that meaning in your life, it doesn't look that way anymore. I am inclined to believe that there is purpose, that there is meaning, that there is not pointlessness, but that there is a point, that there is like a, it's hard to describe, that there is, that we're going somewhere. That's all I'm gonna say. And that meaning, that meaning manifests itself. Every person has that, finds that meaning in some way or another. But for me personally, I found it in reconnecting with God and stuff, with religion. It changed my way in how I see other people. It changed my way in how I see just like life in general, how I treat others, how I perceived myself. However, when I try to talk to people about, say, what like if I try to get deep into it, um, what what they think life means for them, because I really enjoy talking to people about this stuff. What like what drives you in life, or what ends are you expecting, are like these questions that you can really sit down and get to know the person better. um I feel like they look at me weird, and maybe rightfully so, because but I really want to know. It's just that a lot of people aren't really used to those conversations, I think. But I really like it, because I get to know what I want to know, what other people are thinking. I want to know what other people are going through. Um, Even this pointless ranting right now, I don't even know I'm what the ends are, but it just feels a little less lonely in the early morning to jot down my thoughts in a video. Maybe it will help somebody feel um, less lonely too. Um, they could probably, you can probably, like, maybe they'd find some meaning to this pointlessness. But what else do I want to say? I want to say that I want to say that even if everything seems dull, you're at that point where like nothing feels important anymore. There's a lot of confusion, there's no point, there's a lot of things around that you don't understand. I want you to know that maybe it's that way because you're meant to hold on to something. I may not be making sense right now. what am I saying? But when things don't seem really great, when things just feels pointless, especially in my case where I see that everything is all just sensory stuff, I I have this human I have like a I have like a yearning that I know there's something beyond this. I just know that there's something beyond this. Even when other people might say that you're like that, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's because us humans or people in general we're meant to stick onto something that we hold a lot of meaning into. Whatever, and I'm inclined to believe that that bit of meaning is good, whatever it may be. That that thing that drives people, that holds them, be it the meaning that they find or the truth that they find or that drive to know, that curiosity, that wonder, I think it's all very primal. And I'm inclined to believe that that is oriented towards good. Maybe it's just my conscience not accepting that it can be bad, but I just hope it's good because I know it's good. I just think it's good. But yeah, what I was saying is that perhaps it's not so bad to hold on to the little bit of meaning that you have in life, even when your surroundings don't necessarily reflect that at all. It's to keep holding on to that, and maybe you will find the reason why we're still striving and struggling today. I think a lot of life, a lot of human history, it's been clinging onto a hope. It's been clinging onto, even when the odds are nothing, even when the odds are dire, even when everything's desolate. I have personally found that we humans love to cling onto something, to hold on to something. Whatever it may be, it's a reflection of that truth. It's a reflection of that meaning. And this is what I'm talking about. So maybe some person out there manages to find some understanding from my ramblings right now, but I don't expect much. If you do, well, thank you. but but yeah, maybe someone out there can express it much better than me. I just want to say that it's going to be okay. It is difficult. Even it is really difficult. The meaning that you hold on to, it's really fragile. It's really, really fragile. The world is changing all around you. It attacks you from every single point, but somehow you still hold on to that meaning that makes you live, that drives you, that invigorates you, or that you find sentimentality in. Keep holding on to that, because maybe that's your ticket to finding a way out. Maybe that's your ticket to keep pushing, to keep going. And yeah, for a long time I didn't have any of that. For a long time I wandered aimlessly. I was just this I was very different, but I was just flesh, and I was just wandering aimlessly, trying to. I wasn't really trying, I was just living. There was just no point. But I was the most miserable at that point. So I'm very grateful to be where I am now, to meet the people that I've met, to reconnect with the things to reconnect, to find color in things that don't have color. Even the joy of curiosity, I'm really grateful for that, because I was really at a low where nothing mattered, and I was basically abusing myself. I was basically abusing myself, thinking it was pleasure, thinking it was the whole point, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And that was about maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 or 4 years ago. Um, a lot can happen in 4 years or 5 years, but I'm really grateful now to be where I am at now. Um, I don't know what else to say apart from apart from those who find who apart from those who resonate with what I'm saying, if any at all, or if you manage to um, you know keep holding on to what you have there, keep holding on to what gives you that meaning, what 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 makes you feel sentimental, what drives you to curiosity. Keep holding on to that, because as I see now, the world is meaningless. It rapidly changes. There's nothing that's stable, and you never know where it's going to go. You need that foundation. Every person needs that foundation. So I've I'm still new to this, so I'm trying to hold on to that thing, but it is very difficult. It is really difficult because it is so fragile. It's really weak. It's really fragile, but it's all the more reason to protect it. It's all the more reason to treasure it. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say, maybe. I don't know. I may be onto nothing. I may be onto something, but I do know what I feel, and it's hard to say. It's hard to bring out in words, but I do know that, you know, life is not meaningless. As people might say, there is meaning. As others might say, there is, you should just shut up, eat all the food you want, buy all the things you want, listen to all whatever you want, catch up to all your shows on Netflix or whatever. I refuse to I refuse to be subject to that. I refuse. My conscience cannot. I want I am human. I want to do something with my life. I have I have curiosities. I have wonder. I want I have the will to pursue. I want to be creative. I want to do things. I want to live. I want to meet new people. And I found that this modern world, although very convenient, ironically, we find the most depressing depressing state of people right now. And maybe that's why I look with such fondness of back when technology wasn't as um, back when technology wasn't as influenced in our lives back then. I mean, I was still like 5 years old, but from the things I've heard, you could, it was still real somehow. It felt more real. It felt more human. Today, I I do not feel that at all in this modern society. Everything seems fake. I don't know how, but everything seems fake. Utterly fake. The only real thing is when you stop and talk to a person. Or the real feeling you get when you're with your family, or when you try something new and you learn something, you fail and you learn, that it feels real. Or when you find something you love, or when you try to express something that feels real. Today, this is just what I think anyways, but it feels fake. Everything feels fake. It is actually disgusting how everything fake is. How fake everything is. Sorry. But maybe it's for another time. Maybe it's just me. I can't pinpoint why, but that's just how I feel about it. That's just how I feel about things. And maybe that's why I have a hard time trying to socialize sometimes. Or maybe that's why I have trying to fit no, not fit. No. Maybe that's why I have a hard time trying to find enjoyment in a lot of things with other people, because sometimes I just think it's fake. I don't know why. Sometimes I just think it's I just don't know why. Maybe it's because why do this when that's there? But maybe it could be that my eyes are set for something else. Maybe it could be that my eyes are no, my heart is set for something else, and everything else right now that we're doing, it's like it's just like pointless. I don't know what yearning this is. I can't really describe properly what I have in my head and my heart. Nothing satisfies me here. Almost nothing satisfies me here. And I often look back to the old days when everything was nice, and maybe they had their own problems. Most likely they had their own problems. But I would probably much prefer to live back then than here. That's about it. I don't know why. I see that it's already 34 minutes. I should probably go out and stop the recording. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys.